All right, welcome to the next chapter. At this point, we're going to start doing some physics. It's some basic physics versus basic chemistry. I know this is conceptual chemistry, but I like to teach this so that it's like it covers a lot of different things. And even with physics, there is some chemistry with that. So now we're going to jump into a thing called motion and speed. As you notice, being my little thing that helps me out in regards to knowing which video is which. So you should have it already at this point. You should have already written down the notes, made a handwritten copy of them, and submitted that to me. And now you're watching the video to update and get a better understanding as to what these notes mean. All right. Well, so motion and speed. Well, motion is a change in position. Right. So if a person changes their position and goes from one area to another, so I just did motion. All right, because a couple seconds ago I was over there. Now I'm sitting over here. All right. Number one is, how would you know that I moved? Well, you know I moved because originally you saw me sitting over there, and then all of a sudden, real quick, then in the video, I was on this side. Now, how fast did I move from there to here? Do you have any idea? No, you don't, because you didn't get to see me move. Do you know where I went? Maybe I had to go out in the hallway and answer a question. Maybe I had to go turn on the lights. Maybe I had to do something else. That's why I paused it. Maybe I ran all the way down to the middle school office to get something. You don't know what I did in between that time when I had the video paused. Maybe all I simply did was maybe I started here and I moved over here and then restarted the video. All right, but again, you don't know. So motion is just a change in position, going from one point to another. All right. I always like to, in class, I always love to talk about the idea that if you left your cell phone in your bedroom and you're afraid maybe your little brother or little sister were looking in your cell phone to see what you've written inside your cell phone, how would you know? Well, one thing that you could know right off the bat is, wait, my cell phone ain't where I left it. I left it over here. Now it's sitting over there. So you know it was moved. Now you don't know what happened to it while it was moved, but you know it's not where you left it. So that's motion. Motion meaning that there's a change in position. You got to have a reference point. You got to know where it started at, and then know where it is now. Right? And you also don't know how fast it moved. So, and I just did it again with the idea that there was a break in the video. All right? Did I move? You don't know again, do you? All right? Because when I broke or I cut it off, I was sitting right here. And then when I came back, I was sitting right here. All right. So you can't know whether or not there was a change in position. All right. The only way you would know is if the original reference point, if all of a sudden there's a difference in that reference point later. All right. So in that last one right there, maybe I moved, maybe I didn't, but we don't really know based on what happened in that one. So we've got to see a change in position in order to identify there was motion. All right. The next piece is the thing about speed, which can also be considered a rate of that change in position. How long does it take me to go from here over to there? That's what speed is. Right? If I'm an ant, it's going to take me a while to go from there all the way over to there. Okay? So my speed is pretty slow. But if it's myself, I can go from here over to there really, really quick. Right? So I may be a lot faster, have a greater speed. So speed is, letter A there says it's the measurement of how fast something moves. All right, and then we're all at the point where we're starting to think about driving, I hope, and speed is a piece about driving. And while you're driving, if the speed limit says 55 miles an hour, then that's how fast you can go. Right? And it's really the amount of time it takes for that change in position. Right? So how long does it take me? If I'm going 55 miles an hour, how far can I be in an hour? Well, according to that speed, if I'm holding my speed at 55 miles per hour, then that means in 1 hour, I can be 55 miles down the road. Okay? That's what that unit for speed tells me, is it tells me how far you can go or how far you went in that specific amount of time. Right? Now, notice there's 3 different types of speed. The first one is called instantaneous. Instantaneous means right now. Right? The example of this would be the speedometer in my car. If my speedometer in my car says 55 miles an hour, does that tell you anything about how fast I'm going to be going 3 hours from now? Nope, it doesn't. It doesn't. It also, it could, if I hold my speed the same, it could tell me how far I'm going to be in an hour. But as we all know, you might speed up, you might slow down. All right, that speed can change, but that instantaneous speed only tells me my speed right now. Right, it's how far could I travel in a unit of time if I maintain this speed for that amount of time. That's what that instantaneous speed means. So number 2 there, it says it's a rate of motion at any given time, right? Any given instant. The second one is a constant speed. An example of this in your car is your cruise control. If you decide to go on spring break, or you went on spring break, based on when this video is going to be posted after spring break, and you went to Florida. Well, you're in your car and you're like on the expressway and you set the cruise control at 70 miles an hour. How fast are you going to be going? 70 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. You're going to go 70 miles an hour all the time. Okay? It's a constant speed. Okay? It's a non-changing rate of motion. Your rate of motion, how fast you're changing your position, isn't changing. You're going the same amount all the time. Right? That's what constant speed is. Again, it's an example that would be like your cruise control in your car. Now, the third one, the most common one, and the one that we will use most often in this class is average speed. And my thing that I like to talk about in this one, let's say you get out of school, all right, and you're like, oh my gosh, let's go to the movies today. All right, so you leave Madison School and you go out on the road and you head down the road and you get to the gas station, the Myers gas station. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm out of gas, right? And from the time you left the school to go into the Myers gas station, you were going 50 miles an hour, right? You get to the gas station, you have to pull in there, and you got to get $1 worth of gas because that's all. Unfortunately, that's all the cash you had in your wallet. So you get $1 worth of gas. It's not very much gas, right? So you pull out of there, you take off, you get down to McDonald's. You're like, oh my gosh, I am so hungry. Let's pull in here. Let's get some food. So you take into McDonald's, you go through the drive-through, and from the time you left Myers gas station until you got to the McDonald's, you were going 45 miles an hour. Right? You go into the McDonald's, you go through the drive-through, and you finally get some food, and you pull out of there, and then you go down through town, and while you're going through town, you go from 40 miles an hour, you get down by the fire department, you're going 25 miles an hour, you go through downtown, going 25 miles an hour, you get to the other side of town, and you're like, oh my gosh, my fries are all gone, I want to get some more fries. So you pull into the other McDonald's on the other end of town, and you go through that drive-through to get some fries. Right? You finally pull out of the McDonald's, you're like, oh man, that $1 worth of gas ain't getting me very far. We got to go back to the gas station. So you go back to the gas station that's just up the road and go in there. And from McDonald's back to there, you're going 30 miles an hour. You get in the gas station, get some more gas. You find another 50 cents under the front seat. So you throw 50 cents worth of gas in to get yourself to the movie theater. Whew, man. Okay, let's finally jump in the car. We're going to go to the movie theaters. You head out of town, out past the tech center. You're going 45. You leave the tech center, going past there. Now you're going 50 because that's the speed limit. You finally get to the movie theaters. Amen. You're finally there. You pull in, park. It took you an hour to get to the movie theaters. I know that sounds crazy, but remember all the stops you made. How fast were you going? Now, if I tell you that it's 10 miles from Madison School all the way to the movie theaters, how fast on average were you going? Now, remember, when you left the school, you were going, what, 50? And then from Myers gas station to McDonald's, you were going 40 miles an hour. Down through town, you were going 40, and then you were going 30, and then you went 25, and then you speeded back up to like 30, you went to McDonald's. Then you came out of McDonald's, you were going 30 up to the gas station. When you left there, you were going 40 in front of the tech center. After you passed the tech center, you got to 50 miles an hour speed limit. You finally stopped. What's your average speed? You're going pretty fast, but you went 10 miles in 1 hour. So you take 10 miles divided by 1 hour. You were going on average 10 miles an hour. 10 miles an hour, that's really slow. I can almost walk faster than that. And I don't even walk very fast. So how can it be 10 miles an hour when we know you're going 50 miles an hour sometimes? What were you doing all the times between here and there? Well, you stopped at the gas station. How fast were you going? 0. How fast were you going at the McDonald's drive-thru? 0. How fast were you going when you got to the second McDonald's? 0. How fast were you going at the second gas station? 0. So you had all these spots where you weren't moving, right, and you were eating up time, and that lowers your average speed. So you end up with this average speed of 10 miles per 1 hour. And there's an equation for this where your average speed equals distance divided by time. So my speed is my distance. Well, in this case, we went 10 miles. How long did it take us? 1 hour. So we end up with 10 miles per 1 hour. And that's my speed. So if I clean this up, we really end up with the speed equals 10 miles per hour. So per is the slash, which means it's per or in 1 hour. Okay, so that's my average speed. There's a little, there is a way to write this equation, so it's in symbol form. Speed actually is this, which is t. All right, and then we got distance is d and time is t. We can even say change in time. The triangle means change in time, how long it took the time change. In the case of ours, the time change was 1 hour worth of time change. Okay. All right, well, that concludes our notes on speed for right now. So we'll see you next time. Have a great day.